Warning, the following video contains spoilers. If you don't want this episode spoiled for you, switch the video off now. Temp Squad in colour! 10 shiny holes variety pack points if you get that reference. So here we are with Temp Squad. We'll start off with the positives for this episode, all the things I enjoyed about it, then move towards the negatives. But what about you, dear viewer? Did you love this week's episode of My Hero Academia? Comment, share, subscribe, leave a like, click the bell and do all the YouTubey stuff that YouTube wants you to do, because YouTube is scary. Let me know if you liked this episode, let me know if you hated it, and I'll get back to you shortly, either directly or towards the end of next week's video. As for this particular episode of My Hero Academia, entitled Temp Squad, it's okay, I'll just dub over that bit. It's fine, it's gonna be fine, everybody, it's gonna be. As for the positive stuff, even though we had more hero flashbacks, they were far less time consuming than we had in previous episodes. For the record, I do not hate the flashback sequences. I think they're fine. I think they're perfectly serviceable. I really like them. I really enjoy them. It's great to see more of our characters and their histories. But I can't help but feeling that maybe a little bit too much time was spent on them. And with this week's episode, if I am to be negative about it, I can't help but feel that a little flashback sequence where Kirishima and Fat Gun meet for the first time was, well, superfluous. Yet it kind of adds to the whole kind of thing of the villains finding newfound respect for him. But still, I can't help but feel that should have been in last week's episode, or maybe in the Gutsy Red Riot episode. I did like in this episode the fact that we ended up getting a few villain flashbacks. I really liked that fact about it. It was a really nice change of pace and helped to humanise our villains, to help us empathise with them and get to know them a little bit better. And of course, we learnt that they are planning to betray Overhaul! Ooh, who could possibly have ever seen that one coming? Look, that was coming a mile off, and it was pretty much hinted from the first moment our two big bads stacked to meet for the first time. We knew that was going to be a betrayal moment, and what I really like, however, is the fact that is the way in which they're doing it. Stabby McWaifu and Twice seem to be trying to instill chaos, discord and disharmony within the Yakuza. They're trying to get them to turn on each other, or trying to get them to do stuff that's going to weaken them so they can be taken out by the heroes. I really like that. That's really clever, and it's showing these two villains who aren't the most stable of characters actually thinking very cleverly, and in a way which makes them more of a legitimate threat and not just some kind of wacky side character, some kind of fan art bait material. You get what I mean there, and I'm trying to keep this as clean as I possibly can do. I really like that kind of stuff, or rather the stuff that they're doing, not the fan art stuff, but that's a whole... Can we cut this? In a rare moment of actual performative criticism that I'll do for this show, I really have to say that I did like the performance of Twice within this episode. I really like the way in which his personality is portrayed, but I can't help but feel as though I want more from it. I really wish there was more of a swing between the different personalities and tones and the way that he speaks. I know that the reason why it probably isn't quite as over the top as maybe I would like it is because we're probably wanting to keep it as close to the original anime and as close to the original manga as they possibly can do, though that's a whole other thing about adaptation and dubbing, which we're not going to get into now. Maybe a future video at some point in the future, but for now I'll just end up saying I really enjoyed it, but I can't help but feel as though I wanted a little bit more from it. As for the fight sequences themselves within this episode, they were fine. They were perfectly fine and serviceable. I can't help but feel as though maybe there could have been a little bit of flash and flair with them, because what we got was good, but it just feels like well, it's a superhero action, so let's put some superhero action in it. I kind of like the fact that we got to see our villains using their wits a little bit more than their quirks. It was a nice little thing, but you know, at the end of the day, it was okay. Last week I said I would have minded them fighting the house guy, but this week it turned out to be not as impressive as I hoped it would be. And of course I just have to ask the question, how bloody big is this place? It seems to be going on for miles. Did nobody notice them building this or something? I mean, good grief. As for the actual heroes themselves, Rocklock has now been taken out. I mean, we all knew that it was going to coming. You don't focus this much time and attention on a new character without something bad happening to them. He's been taken out. We don't know if he's dead or not, but at least for the time being, he's out of commission. Kirishima is also down for the count. They can't just give him a senzu bean and give him the kiss of life and everything would be better. He's probably going to be out for quite a while now. And Sunita is AFK. We don't know where he is, but he's probably right now lying down in a puddle of his own sweat and urine. We've not seen him. We're probably not going to see him until this whole little story arc bit is concluded. Now, this will be the part where we talk about the negatives, but I'm going to push that back to the overview because the negatives and the things I have issues with this week's episode are things that, to be honest with you, dear viewer, are issues I'm having more series-wide. So with that in mind, let us get to the overview. Okay, so the overview. What did I think about the episode as a whole? And as a whole, it was fine. Maybe not quite fine in the way that my review of the last Star Wars movie was, but still, it's serviceable. I think it's certainly better than the last Star Wars movie in many regards, even though it was a quarter, a fraction of its running time, but there's a whole other story. But, you know, this particular episode, it was fine, it was serviceable, but my issues with it are more existential and larger scale than just the content of this episode itself. If you've been watching my reviews now, you know that my patience is running out with the whole "we've got to save Eri" subplot. I mean, this has been going on now for a whole month. The past 4 episodes have been dedicated exclusively to our heroes trying to save Eri. 4 weeks of flashbacks, of looking back, of fight sequences that don't really go anywhere, fight sequences themselves which, whilst flashy, aren't really substantial, just people punching each other until someone falls down. And it looks like next week we may finally be getting to a resolution, only a matter of days until the new year. I really hope that this story arc, this part of the story arc at least, is going to be resolved soon, because this has crossed the Rubicon. We are beyond the point of the planet Namek is going to blow up in 5 minutes bit for me. Yes, that's a whole other trope, that's a whole other issue, but here at least, come on guys. You're running around someone's basement. At this point you should have it done by now, particularly as we all know where this is going. You don't have to have read the manga to understand what's coming next. We all know what's going to happen here. They are going to fail to save Eri. Someone is going to die, get mangled, die and get revived, and they're going to be freaked out by the whole entire thing, and they're going to be out of commission pretty much permanently now. We all know that's going to happen. They're not going to save Eri, and in the event they do save Eri, she'll probably be recaptured in a few episodes' time, so this whole affair will have been for nothing. We know that's going to happen. We know it's going to happen, so let's not pretend it's not going to happen. Unless they somehow do something truly innovative, truly amazing and substantial, they do something so brave and bold that it blows me away, that's what's going to happen. They're going to fail to save Eri. Miro is likely going to end up getting horribly mangled, killed and then revived, whatever. He's going to fail to do it, and then we deal with the aftermath of it. And also the aftermath and the dealing of it may be really interesting stuff, that may be really powerful stuff and interesting stuff. We know where it's going to go, so let's not pretend as though anything else is different is going to happen here. I mean, my God, let's not pretend here. Though, with that said, maybe we'll see. I'll be really, really pissed off, however, if we get to the end of next week's episode and we've still not wrapped this all up. I mean, at that point, it'll have been 5 weeks, going on into 6 as we get into the new year, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But what about you, dear viewer? Did you love this episode of My Hero Academia? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll get back to you shortly, either directly in the comments themselves or towards the end of a future video. Be sure to like, favourite, subscribe, click the bell and do all the stuff that YouTube wants you to do, because YouTube is incredibly scary to us small content creators. Be sure to support your local small content creator today. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.